Hey guys, it's Chris, and welcome back to the Smoke Break episode, I don't know, 4, I believe? Maybe. I think it's episode 4. Anyway, I apologize for not having videos in a week and a half or two or whatever. I just had to had to get the fuck out of here. You know what I mean? I had to take a mental health break from doing this whole YouTube thing and Twitch and all that stuff. And I've been focusing on the book. Again, if you're new here, if you're one of the 60% of people who watch these videos that are new, hit that subscribe button for me. This is the new show where it's basically a mini podcast on entertainment news, and we did have different segments. So I'll have all those things segmented in the description below. So if you're interested in the movie segment, you can watch that, or maybe you just want to see the WandaVision or Marvel stuff or whatever it may be. And so anyway, all that will be in the description as far as the segmented things. And this may be a podcast, I don't know. For any of the 50 or 60 of you guys who watch this and want to see it, you know, maybe on all the podcasting platforms as audio, let me know. I can do that. It's not that big of a deal. We'll see how it goes. But I'm going to continue doing this for a while. I like the format, and it takes some stress off of me for editing. I can just sit here and talk about things without having to edit and throw in screenshots and all that bullshit. So anyway, yeah, glad to be back. We missed WandaVision finale last week. I apologize again and I didn't live stream on Sunday. But again, it's just been just trying to figure out everything again, and I've really been focusing on the book. So anyway, we're back to it, which brings me to the book. A really quick book update for you guys. We are now almost about to begin actual professional editing. So we're waiting on that. That comes in about 2.5 weeks. I've been really focusing on the book as far as going through it again for a 5th or 6th time. I think I'm on version 5 or 6 by now. Trying to clean up the prose and move some things around and, you know, fix all the issues I had when I've been, you know, initially dumped this all out of my head. So we just ended our Indiegogo campaign. I want to thank all you guys who contributed. We had, I believe we hit 55% of our goal. And I didn't know what to expect when I started that campaign. So we had, I believe, I want to say it was 70-something backers, 71 backers. So 71 people pre-ordered the book on Indiegogo. Really appreciate that. We have now enough to cover the editing and formatting pretty good. I think we're pretty clear on the editing and formatting, which is the most important part, by the way. So I really want to thank you guys for that. I really appreciate it. A couple of you guys have reached out to me since that ended that had planned on pre-ordering through there. I may open this up again. I can't open the same one up. I have to open a completely new one. So I may do that for a couple weeks or something because we still need to have we still need some to cover. Mainly the biggest other biggest cost other than editing is the audiobook version, and that will be for the voice actor. So basically, you use a website called ACX, and you hire a voice actor right there. Once you come to terms or whatever, then they start recording your audiobook and all that good stuff. So that will be a big thing we want to do. So if I may open up another Indiegogo campaign and you know, call it part 2 or whatever. A lot of people do that. They segment their campaigns for launching new products and stuff like that. So I may, but I also want to throw out there that you can actually get a book, essentially a pre-order on Patreon as well. Now Patreon is obviously a monthly thing. Patreon supports the bigger cause here, the whole channel, what I do here on YouTube, on Twitch, and allows me to continue to write and stuff like that. So for those that are still interested in pre-ordering a book or getting a copy, whether it's a digital, paperback, hardback, whatever, you can join our Patreon community. And again, that is a monthly donation towards this whole shit show that we have going on here. So consider that if you want to, and you have tiers built in there where you automatically get books in at different tiers. But you can also just do a one-time donation through PayPal if you're interested in something like that. So all those links will be in the description. Anyway, we're moving forward, but we're just kind of this holding pattern, waiting for the editing because everybody's so booked out. So once I start the developmental editing process and I start making changes, then I will start the line editing, copy editing, all that stuff, and then proofreading. And then I will need to jump into cover design very soon. So I'll see if I want to do another round on Indiegogo or just try to figure it out. So anyway, I really appreciate the 71 backers we had to pre-order the book already. Really appreciate the support. All right, so let's jump over to the movie segment. By the way, this is the second time I recorded this. The first time I started going and got halfway through this whole damn thing, and I recorded audio but had no video. So that was a thing. So I'm sure this second one will be shittier than the first one was because it was just going good and smooth, and I was, everything was fine. And then I realized, oh shit, I didn't hit the record button. So yeah, that happens, and this is one of the reasons I have to get the fuck out of here occasionally, and not do YouTube, because you would think I would learn after 6 years of this shit to hit the fucking record button. Anyway, so let's move on to the movie segment. There is no movie segment this week, by the way. There is a Netflix segment, however. I did watch a documentary series, a docu-series on Netflix this week, and it's up my alley. So I know everybody here won't be interested in this, but, we're doing these segments here, so I figured I'd throw it out here because I did watch it and I enjoyed it. And it is the docu-series on feudal Japan called Age of Samurai, Battle for Japan. It's about 6 episodes, I believe, 40 to 45 minutes apiece, on the Sengoku Jidai, which was the Warring States period from 1476, I believe, to 1668. And now this is something for you guys who've been around for a long time on this channel. You guys know this is the martial arts that I've studied since, 1995. And so this is right up my alley. The samurai, the shinobi or ninja, and all that good stuff. This is a big cultural thing in Japan. Obviously, it became a big cultural thing in the Western world as well. So this shows you essentially, it's a good overview, I would say, for noobs or people who are not that familiar with Japanese history as far as this period. And essentially, this is the feudal era of civil war where feudal warlords known as daimyo fought over power and lands until they unified Japan under a man named Tokugawa Ieyasu, who became the shogun and ruled Japan from 1603 until the Meiji Restoration, which was, I believe, in 1868, I believe. This also covers other warlords as well, other daimyo that became so-called great unifiers in Japan. And I'm doing that in air quotes because they did essentially unify Japan, but it wasn't like, they did it in a nice way. So it's kind of a crazy way they're looked at in history. But there's a couple other big players in this period as well that led up to Tokugawa, being the shogun, and that was a former lord of his, Oda Nobunaga, and another general of his as well called Toyotomi Hideyoshi. And it does a good job. It does a good job for an overview. I will say, as far as anybody who's a history nerd and watch this, you'll probably notice there are some. There's a lack of context on why some of these relationships had happened in the first place. There's a lot of context missing on some important battles, the reason some of these guys were allies and some were not. And so there's some stuff missing on that. They did go over the shinobi, or ninja as we call them in the Western world, as well in episode 3. I will say I wanted them to touch on a little bit more of the shinobi or ninja as far as how they operated from a province called Iga at the time. Mostly Iga. There was another one called Koka or Koga as well. Those are the big famous ones. But it gives you the more, but they skipped over it because there's a lot of, I believe anyway, they skipped over it for a lot of reasons. But one is there's just not a lot of actual evidence on how all this stuff operated, how ninja or shinobi actually operated, who they really were. Japan kind of made them into this cultural icon, along with the explosion of martial arts and all that stuff in the 20th century. It's pretty clear they kind of just touched on it, said what they needed to say about it, because they did play a big role. They did play a role. The question is throughout history, it's just hard for some of these Dinsho scrolls, these scrolls of these different martial schools, or Ruha. It's difficult to find the things because they're very rare. And then it's hard to authenticate them as well. So there's a lot of argument in the world of Japanese history about what was real and what was not and all that stuff. But the ninja were not what we think of them as today. Black clad warriors sneaking around, climbing things all the time. Not saying that didn't happen occasionally, but they were mostly just samurai who spied on people and maintained spy networks for the most part. But a lot of us already knew this who studied this. This was no surprise. So this is overall a really good documentary, I think, for a good overview. If you don't know anything about it or maybe a little bit about it, it's a good refresher course for those real hardcore Japanese history nerds. But again, it did lack some context. So If you like history at all, or specifically Japanese history, and kind of want to see a pretty realistic version, I mean, fairly realistic. They were missing a couple things like there's certain haircuts and things, but I get actors are not going to shave their heads and have this haircut just for one show. It's fine. It's fine. They did what they needed to do. So it's a pretty good little series there. So check it out if you're interested in that type of thing, history or specifically Japanese history, to get an idea of what it really looked like. Because this was not a pretty sight. This was a nasty, brutal. That's one thing they really did good, I think, is showing the brutality of this era of warfare in general. So it wasn't just you see a lot of people in history looked upon as these great unifiers, but they wasn't necessarily great people. Anyway, check that out on Netflix. Age of Samurai: Battle for Japan. So let's move on to WandaVision. We missed live streaming last week. Again, I apologize. We missed the finale live streaming, but the finale did pretty much what we expected it to do without setting up some big bad beyond Agatha Harkness herself. So we all knew all along this was Agatha Harkness, and she was in some kind of control or whatever. Looks like she kind of just latched on to Wanda. We discovered the chaos magic and all that stuff. So essentially what we got here, this show did what it needed to do. I think a lot of us were skeptical about it when we first saw the trailers, a year ago, months and months ago, whatever it was. But they did a really good job, and it did what it needed to do. Essentially, we got a Scarlet Witch. Officially, we got the Scarlet Witch. It was an origin story, essentially. So I like the way they did it, though. I'm really impressed with this show. It did end with her reading the Dark Code, which, of course, she's now learning to become the Scarlet Witch. We got the White Vision, obviously set up, which we'll see again later. Obviously, this will move directly into Doctor Strange 2, obviously, as we mentioned, Spider-Man 3, which will come out this year. So it did what it needed to do in the sense of introducing us to the idea of multiple universes, multiple realities, whatever they want to do. Going into Spider-Man No Way Home. I don't know why they're sticking with this home thing, which may be the Spider-Verse. And I think we'll get Miles Morales and all that stuff as well. And definitely Doctor Strange. But we were throwing out everything from Nightmare, as far as big bad villains in the background, to Mephisto, to Chthon I talked about as well. So they skipped all that. But, I still think Chthon could possibly be something in Doctor Strange too. We kind of expected Doctor Strange to come in and make an appearance. I was saying I didn't think that was a big deal. I kind of expected it anyway, but I think we all wanted to see Magneto. We all wanted to see the final piece of her origin story was, how is she the daughter of Magneto? We'll see if they address that maybe in a future episode, maybe in Doctor Strange. Maybe they will actually pull over some mutants and stuff like that, as far as X-Men mutants, saying the X gene, all that good stuff as well. I was kind of disappointed that we didn't get something, because I thought Pietro coming over would actually end up being the Fox world or Fox universe Quicksilver, but apparently not. Apparently they pulled him in there as an actor just to play a neighbor, and that's where Agatha was actually living, his house. So anyway, still a really great show. Really love that show, and now we are moving forward to Falcon and Winter Soldier. So let's talk about that. Next segment, Falcon and Winter Soldier. Just a few weeks. So I'm liking how they're doing this. We had WandaVision, then we go to Falcon and Winter Soldier, and then after that, we'll go into Loki. So actually, let's take a look at the trailer for Falcon and Winter Soldier. Let me do this. Let me pull this up over here. Let's take a look at this trailer, which I hadn't watched in a while. And I know most of you have probably seen this. But let's take a look at it and see if we can spot some things and get a little preview of the Falcon and the Winter Soldier. And by the way, for this series, like I wanted to do with WandaVision, depending on what time it comes out or whatever, I'm assuming it's going to do the same thing, come out at 3 a.m. Eastern time on a Friday. I don't know, though. I have not confirmed that. I would like to do a watch-along party, or whatever you want to call it, like live stream while we're watching it and then talk about it for a few minutes after. So we'll see. But anyway, let's jump over here to the PC. And let's jump over here and check out the trailer. I have not seen this in a while. Just heads up, as usual, when I play these trailers for this show, obviously I have to maybe pause it and talk over it. Maybe when I'm kind of just slapping this together, I'll throw something up over the screen as well. So anyway, let's check out the Falcon and Winter Soldier, because I went back and actually watched Captain America Civil War and Age of Ultron and forgotten some of the great scenes between Bucky and Falcon. So really looking forward to this. Let's check it out. I love how it starts off with this, though.
So,
Is that too loud?
who would like to start?
I like how in
Mr.
therapy.
Barnes, why does Sam aggravate you?
So this is what's funny, because I had not remembered when I first saw this trailer. I had not remembered how many little scenes they had together in Civil War. I mean, I'd seen it a billion times, but I didn't think back to, okay, why are they doing, I mean, I can see why they're doing Falcon Winter Soldier, because they're both Captain Americas in the comics. Kind of skipped over Bucky, and Cap obviously gave the shield to Falcon, which is cool. But it looks like in this show, they may be kind of, I don't know, kind of sharing it in a way. So we'll see. I'm sure it'll end with Falcon becoming full-fledged Captain America, so that'll be cool. Anyway, these two are going to work really well together.
15 seconds to drop. So what's our plan?
And there you go. My whole thing, I will say really quick, my whole thing with Falcon, I love Falcon, don't get me wrong. It's a cool concept, but if you have Iron Man and War Machine, why don't you just wear a suit like that instead of having wings and all that stuff that's going to get you in trouble if one breaks? You know what I mean? I'm just old and cynical. I'm sorry. Here we go.
Superheroes cannot be allowed to exist. I have no intention to leave my work.
So this is going to be Zemo. Zemo is going to be the big bad, I think, or at least one of them. From the comics as well.
The world's upside down right now.
So this is a good shot right here. So you got Sam holding the shield and looking up at Cap. Obviously, at this time, Cap is old and retired or whatever. I don't know if we'll see old man Cap again. So you can see this is going to be he's still Falcon and working with Bucky, and they still have shit to do as the Avengers or whatever, or this little mini crew. And he's been handed this shield. This is going to be a lot on him. You know, how do you fill those shoes? And that was his whole thing, being handed the shield in Endgame. So this is going to be really cool as far as kind of exploring that. Now, I like that part because it's like he called it. Sam threw it, Bucky called it. So it's almost like, if for people that may not be familiar, the Winter Soldier, Bucky, became Captain America before Falcon in the comics. They kind of skipped over, so this is kind of bridge that gap, I think. So we're going to see kind of both of them playing around with this, with the shield or whatever, but it's going to obviously go to Falcon. So he's not going to be named Captain America, I'm saying, as far as Bucky goes. But they're going to certainly work together in some way, shape, or form, almost sharing the title before Falcon actually gets the super serum or whatever, I'm assuming.
Start.
What is it?
Is you ready?
Here we go again, huh?
We've been grinding hard on the job. Can't take that from us.
All right, I gotta pause it for copyright reasons, and I should have been talking or saying something. So yeah, this is looking good, man. It's almost a fresh change from WandaVision, from all the mystery. It's kind of just straight up, which is fine. I like them both. I love the show. Don't get me wrong. I'm not saying WandaVision was. I'm just saying, how we all started out with like, what is this sitcom shit? Now we're kind of back to, okay, this is straight Marvel, post Endgame. All right. So he's carrying the shield. I mean, he's still playing the Falcon part. Hold on, let me back that up, actually. I didn't see that, his suit there. I think, yeah, okay. He's okay, I was looking. He's got the backpack on. So he is Falcon still here, but he's definitely carrying the shield. So he's going to make that transition and start learning to use this thing and whatever, and eventually make it over to being officially called Captain America, I'm assuming.
Hello, girl, kick your ass.
This is going to be my favorite part. I love their chemistry. They love each other, but they hate each other type of relationship. I'm going to love this part of it. That's going to be my favorite part as far as this whole duo goes. This is going to be fucking outstanding. And I like the, love the logo.
See?
And I
it
love,
wasn't so hard.
they're doing,
Okay.
they're,
What are you doing?
they're doing a staring contest. I mean,
Just blink. Sweet Jesus. How old are you?
see, that's the thing. That's what best friends do. That's just how they act in real life. That's how they do. So anyway, really looking forward to this, man. This is going to be good. So again, overall, I think this is going to explore that kind of transition period, obviously, between Captain America kind of essentially retiring. I mean, he went out with a bang, right? Handing over the shield to Sam Wilson, and then Bucky. They're kind of skipping him as far as the comics go, but they're going to do this transition period where they both are working together. And then I think by the end of this series, again, I'm not sure if this series, maybe somebody can let me know in the comments, is this planned for more than one? Because I think all these are just one season, to my knowledge, because we have movies coming. But it's going to be a while, so they could do maybe 2 seasons of this, but I don't know. I have not looked into being multiple seasons. I do know WandaVision is done. So really looking forward to this. This is going to explore that era and then or that transition period. And I think by the time we get to episode 9 or 10 or whatever it's going to be as far as the finale, I think you'll see Sam and Captain America get up and take in the serum, because he needs to take the serum. If he's not going to be Falcon anymore and use that stuff, that technology, he's got to take the damn serum. So I think we'll see that. Pretty sure we'll see that in probably the sorry about that, and probably in the finale. I didn't have a whole lot this week. There's not obviously any shows on. There's not really any Star Wars news other than the same old shit about the internal struggles of Star Wars and Lucasfilm between Kathleen Kennedy and the firing of Gina Carano and all that stuff we talked about before. I was actually surprised in that video. Well, I shouldn't have been surprised. I did a video, and I'll link that in it's out there. I think it was called Canceled on the thumbnail, talking about the Gina Carano thing, giving my opinion on it. And a lot of people, I guess I was a little surprised, even though I shouldn't have been. A lot of people were kind of proved my point about cancel culture. They all of a sudden I was some kind of bad, evil person for giving my opinion on the situation, and my opinion was simply that she didn't do anything wrong. She made a historical fact. She stated a historical fact in an Instagram post, and she was not making a direct comparison in today's political realm. She was saying this is how it starts. All this starts by hating your neighbor. They get you to hate your neighbors, and that's what's happening today. Anyway, I won't get into all that. If you want to see that, I'll leave the link to that video in the description. It's just 3 or 4 videos ago if you want to check that out. So no real Star Wars news. That's still kind of continuing. She's moved on. Now, I talked about it the other week in a video, will Mandalorian Season 3 happen now? There's rumors Pedro Pascal may leave. But his, not agent, but I'm not sure who it was. I think it was a stunt double, actually tweeted out something and said, no, he's not going anywhere. So as far as we know, it's still happening. And then, of course, the Book of Boba Fett is coming out in December as well. So anyway, guys, that's it. We'll keep this one kind of short and sweet, about a half-an-hour episode here. Usually we have another segment, but just not a lot going on right now as far as Marvel, Star Wars, and other shows. So anyway, let me know what you think in the comments below. If you dig this type of thing, please let me know in the comments. Let me know by hitting the like button. And if you're one of the 60% of the people watching this channel now who are not subscribed, hopefully I have earned your subscription, and click that red damn button so we can get this thing moving forward again, trying to save this damn channel, which is part of the reason why I'm taking these breaks, because it's just hard for me after a year and a half of watching this channel burn because Game of Thrones ended. You know what I mean? It's just over. Now we'll of course talk about House of the Dragon and those upcoming shows, Dunk and Egg and all that stuff. We'll talk about that more in later episodes of this as well, but we'll definitely be covering those. But Game of Thrones is over, and that's just all there is to it. So anyway, that's all I have to say about that. Anyway, let me know what you think in the comments below. If you dig what I do here, please give these videos a like, comment, and a share. And of course, as I said, please be sure to subscribe to get everything and click that notification bell so you're notified when I drop a new video. So thanks for watching, and we'll see you next time.